Oof. AI this year, man. It's a lot. It's been a lot. It continues to be a lot. It's been so easy to get overwhelmed with it this year. And I have a feeling if you listen and pay attention to any industry or tech news whatsoever, even on the periphery, that this is just life going forward. So we've got to try to figure it out. And coming from an operator here this year, we kind of dove into a whole bunch of different AI tests, as it were. And we spent a small fortune on them and learned a lot along the way. And so what I want to do with this video is just share a little bit about how we're approaching AI and why maybe that matters, because we've made a handful of mistakes along the way, continue to make mistakes along the way. But I think we've landed on a pretty good use case for our business as it stands right now, and it might help you. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Adam Knight. I'm the founder and CEO of Recreation Stays. We're a vacation rental and hotel management company based in Seattle. And what I found this year was that the business grew in size, but also in complexity. And some things that actually we were targeted with through the end of 2024 and the first half of this year was guest messaging, and automated guest messaging. And it sounded really good when we were looking at it. And this is, I think, the AI in hospitality that most people are probably experimenting with or starting to consider. But I've got to tell you, we learned pretty quickly that this wasn't going to be an option for us. There's two main problems with it. But the gist of it is that if you track your messages by if they've been read or not, if you have an automatic message responder, it will mark your messages as read in your messaging system, and you'll never really get a sense of where you are with communication with guests. And that matters because of problem number two, that if anything actionable comes out of your messaging with guests or your automated messaging with guests, then it doesn't flag any tasks that need to get done. And if you are tracking messages by whether they've been read or not, then you'll never really know where you are. You're kind of flying blind. And we learned that pretty quickly early on. So we actually unraveled a lot of that messaging architecture and just went back to the way things have always been done with humans interacting with guests. But as the year went on, and we started seeing how this AI world mushroomed exponentially, we did find a handful of really solid use cases for it that have quite honestly made the business a lot better. And the first one is sort of an unexpected way of booking calls with people. So, I watch a lot of YouTube videos that sort of replaced cable, as it were. I tend to deep dive on a lot of different subjects on YouTube, and I found a podcast there called the Startup Ideas Podcast. And I have to give them credit because I didn't come up with this on my own. I was watching one of their episodes, and I'll link to it in the show notes. And they were playing around with this AI service called Lindy. And what Lindy does is it creates AI agents for you. And effectively, all an AI agent is a small little AI program that just does one specific thing for you. Now, you can build it out and it can do multiple things. And forgive me if there's any really tech-heavy people listening. I'm sure I haven't described it right, but from the layman's perspective, this is what it is. And the argument that they were making on the show was that sending a Calendly link to get somebody to book a call with you is extremely impersonal. So why not use AI to book calls for you? And what they did was they put together an agent and they named it as if it was somebody in their own organization, assigned an email address to it from their main domain. And every time you needed to book a call, you would just CC this agent who's masquerading as an actual employee. And then the agent takes over booking calls for you with whoever your prospect is. It was like a moment of clarity for me. And I completely agree that sending a Calendly link, although helpful, is really impersonal. So I literally followed step-by-step on how to do this and created an internal AI agent employee who nobody would ever know that it's an AI agent. And whenever I have to book a call, I just copy the agent, and then the agent takes over and communicates with the prospect normally in completely normal email. And then when they land on a time that works for my calendar and the prospect, sends a meeting link and books it in both of our calendars. And it's like the slickest, most simple, amazing pseudo admin agent that I've seen so far. It's extremely cool. And there's no telling what other things that you can do with this. I'm sure if I spent a little more time on it, I could probably come up with a handful of other use cases, but a scheduler is the way to go. The second AI integration that we did into the business this year is actually a very recent one. And I have to give credit to Sean Rakajic on YouTube. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, it's amazing. I watch every video, and a lot of what he talks about, we try to find ways of implementing it in our business. I'll link to it down below. But he recently had a video where he talked about downloading your Airbnb transaction details with the stay detail information, putting it into ChatGPT, and diving into revenue strategy by understanding how your properties are performing by day of week. And he goes into great detail, which I'm not going to do here, but it's definitely worth checking out, on giving you new insights into how your property is performing. And I got to tell you, once I followed it again, exactly how he described it, and the insights were amazing. So much so that we actually changed how we're selling midweek stays, that sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday stay. And we've already seen an uptick in business as a result. And this is something that we just did a couple weeks ago. So that's not so much using a specific AI tool, but ChatGPT has just become ubiquitous across the board. And there are so many ways that you can feed it information and it can explain to you patterns and things within large chunks of data that are become actionable for you. So check out Sean's video in the link below. And we're going to be playing with this a lot more going forward. The next thing that we did this year was solve a big problem for ourselves. So procurement is one of the most painful aspects of running a hospitality operation. Tracking supplies, getting purchase orders approved, knowing how much you're spending at different properties, it can really get overwhelming quickly. And we haven't found a good solution for it. The solutions that we did find were overbuilt and too complicated for us, and they were frankly too expensive. They just weren't worth the cost. Well, I started getting targeted with a website called Base44. And Base44, just like Lovable, if you've heard of them, or there's a few others, will build an app for you just based on what you describe you want. So I logged into Base44 and told it very simply what I was looking for was a procurement system for a hospitality business that allowed us to create and submit purchase orders, track spend by property and method of payment, and be able to run some simple reports. This has been such an unbelievable benefit to us in something that took me not even one evening on the couch of programming. And it's now become the backbone of our procurement and honestly month-end process. So the point is this: if you need a tool, or if you just have a problem that you need to solve and you don't really know what kind of tool you need, or you don't really know how to search for the kind of tool you need, there are a few apps out there that will allow you to make your own app. They're incredibly easy to use, and you just use natural language. Just type it in and it'll make it for you, and then you can just refine it over time. So I'll link to Base44 in the show notes, and you can check it out and make your own. I think you can even play around with it for free, just to see what it builds for you. And the last thing that we worked on this year, we solved a pretty big frustration for our team. This is a dynamic operation, a very dynamic business. Things change a lot. I mean, we're still sort of in startup mode. So we're updating SOPs, we're updating company information. You can create all the SOPs and internal documents you want, but the reality is that people rarely look at those. So we were trying to find a way to put together a database of company information that the team could access whenever they wanted, whenever they had a question about something, and they could find the answer easily themselves. So we stumbled upon a little known product by Google called NotebookLM. And if you just Google it now, you can check it out. I think it's free to use, but what it does is it creates this database on whatever topic you want it to be. It just happens to be, we did it for our company by uploading every document that we have, every process, every SOP, every sales collateral, quite literally everything that's ever been created. We uploaded it to NotebookLM and created our own internal expert on the company. So now when anybody has a question, they can just go to our NotebookLM page and type in their question using natural language, and they'll get the answer. Setting it up probably took an hour, maybe. The most frustrating part was just gathering all the documents and uploading them. But once we did that, the system trained itself and it was done. So if you as an operator get bombarded by questions from your team and you're always constantly asking yourself, why do I have to keep answering the same question over and over again? Spending a couple of hours setting something like this up is going to make everybody happy. So NotebookLM, I'll link to it down in the show notes. Definitely worth checking out. So where do we go next? What are the big learnings here? Well, I think one of the big ones is that plug and play systems don't work. At least they don't work for us. And they functionally work, but they may be either too limited in scope or too limited in functionality to be of any real use for your business. That's not to say they're all bad, but when you're going out and you're evaluating some of the off-the-shelf tools that are out there, you really need to put it through its paces and make sure that it's going to work for you and that it's not just going to create more problems for you like it did for us. So what we learned was that we're in a world now where we can build what we need and we're only limited by our imagination. And that's really exciting. It's a little scary. I know that things are going to change 10 times over next year, but our approach to AI isn't about replacing team members. It's about giving team members the tools to do their jobs better, to serve our guests better, serve our owners better. And I think if you come at it from that perspective, you're going to see a lot of success, and a lot of the frustration and daunting feelings about AI might start to go away. Because this is the future. We need to get comfortable with it, but don't let it happen on its own terms. You dictate how it goes.